All right, hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. Again, this is episode 2 of our top 30 NBA player draft under age 30. Which players can give us the best chance to win NBA games and win an NBA title? If you missed the first video, my guest Jonathan Pixley and recurring friend of the show who appears quite often on the channel, and I had discussed in great detail our honorable mention and our rankings number 30 through 16. We're on to the top 15, so stay tuned. I don't know if there's going to be any surprises at the top because we haven't shared our lists with each other. So this is going to be news to me. It's going to be news to you guys. Jonathan, you ready to get cranking?
Let's do it. We already had a couple of surprises in the 30 through 16, so we'll see where we're at now.
We did. But I think generally speaking, this is from spending a lifetime of watching and coaching and playing basketball together. We were pretty close on our talent evaluation. We were pretty close on our draft picks. There were a couple that shocked me. And after you told me where they were, it kind of gave me the confidence. I was like, you know what? I want to change my list on a couple. Scotty Barnes was one, to revisit. I had him at number 20. I think you said you had him way up at number maybe 11? 10, okay. Paulo Banchero, you had
16. I had Mobley at 11, though.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. So I had Mobley at 17. You had him at 11. That's about as big a disparity as we had. Most of our other rankings were within 3 or 4. Some of them were right on the number. So no more wasting time. Let's get going. Number 15 on my list, right? The screen is showing you my personal list. I have got Jaylen Brown, two-way guy. You know how I feel about him. I've got to believe he's somewhere around here on your list too.
Oh, he's right there. 15.
He is right there. So I thought we might hit the head there. You and I are both probably higher on Jaylen Brown than most. We know he can do it both ways. He's an all-star. He's 25 years old. He's the perfect age for this list. Like I said, to revisit the criteria, we're pretending that we're GMs. We've wiped the rosters clean of the entire NBA, and we're redrafting with the intention that we have 7 years to win as many games and as many titles as possible. Who do we want to be the face of our franchise with our first-round pick? Jaylen Brown would be 15th on my list. He's 15th on your list. I don't know what else there is to say about him. I enjoy watching him play basketball. He plays hard as hell. I like him better than Jayson Tatum. I'm sure that puts me in the minority. I know a lot of people, Jayson Tatum gets a lot of the attention. Part of it has to do that I have thousands of dollars invested in his basketball cards, and I don't own any Jayson Tatum cards. But what do you think about Jaylen Brown? Anything that I didn't say that you think about this guy?
Well, I will say this. I never thought that there would be a day where I said Jaylen Brown was the best player on one of the teams in the finals. And he was the best player on the Boston Celtics during the NBA Finals.
100%.
I do not believe he is better than Jayson Tatum, but I do believe he is closer than people give him credit for. He is more athletic. He's probably a better defender, but the gap is not as big as people make it.
Does it give you any concern that – I don't think I'm out of line here. I know I'm biased, but I don't think I'm out of line that on the biggest stage in the sport of basketball, he rose to the occasion and was a man-child, and Jayson Tatum disappeared. Now, Jayson Tatum did carry him in series before that, but on the biggest stage, I did not like what I saw from Jayson Tatum. As a Jayson Tatum card owner or as a GM, that would give me a little bit of pause. Again, you'll see. You haven't seen Jayson Tatum on my list here. And I say I like Jaylen Brown more. We're about to see Tatum pretty soon. I know Jayson Tatum's offense can go to another level, and I'm not sure if Jaylen Brown's can. And so for that reason, I gave Tatum a little bit of an edge, but it does give me some concern that he just kind of shrank in the spotlight in the NBA Finals. What do you think?
It doesn't give me any. He's been a fantastic playoff performer his entire career. He did not play well in the finals. I'll give you that. But I mean, okay, let's go back to 2010 with LeBron or 11, right? I mean, when he disappeared against the Mavericks, pretty safe to say he's made up for it since then. So I'm not putting Tatum in that world. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think one trip to the finals would give me hesitation when he's been really good.
Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is he might have been dead ass tired because he was putting up serious numbers and serious statistics for the every round in the playoffs prior to that.
40. What do you get? 47 on the road against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
In a closeout game. I mean,
maybe that's why I hate him.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Number 14 on my list. Moving on. Darius Garland. I love him. I don't know what else to say. I'm highly invested in him in the hobby, in the card market. I like everything about him off the court. I like his demeanor on the court. He plays an exciting brand of basketball. I've said this 10,000 times. I will keep saying it. He reminds me of a sane version of Kyrie Irving. Everything about his game reminds me of Kyrie Irving. Maybe not quite to that level as an explosive one-on-one offensive force, but the fact that he's a little dude and he's got impeccable footwork, he can score at all three levels. He can get his shot whenever he wants to. He's a great perimeter shooter. He's not vertically athletic, but he's very quick and difficult to guard horizontally. A lot of similarities to Kyrie Irving. I always kind of compare him as a Kyrie Irving 2.0 without all the baggage that comes with it. What are your thoughts on Darius Garland?
I have Darius Garland at 20 on my list. I do agree. I think he's got a chance to be a multiple-time All-Star. Could be the second or third, probably third best player on a championship team. Would not put him in the same stratosphere from a talent standpoint as Kyrie Irving, but would probably take him ahead of Kyrie Irving on my franchise because of what you said.
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah. No, I like him a lot. I just, again, I'm on this list when we're talking about 7 years and we're talking about a bunch of young guys also. I don't know, he's 22. I'm looking at ceiling, right?
Yeah.
What's ceiling? And so that's why he's a little lower for me.
Yeah. We're going to get to a topic that I thought about a very long time is how many NBA champions best player has been a true little person as their alpha.
Well, how are you going back?
Don't go yet. We're going to get there. Tuck that away, but I want to talk about that. And there's a lot of questions to be asked, and I did the research, so it's a very interesting topic. The difference between me and you is you've got Mobley ahead of Garland, and I've got Garland ahead of Mobley.
Right.
I'm shedding the little man concern that I have, and I'm going to put Garland there. And part of the reason is I know what I got in Garland. I still don't know if Mobley is going to be the offensive force that you and a lot of the world thinks he's going to be. I just don't know. I do know Garland is going to do what he did last year, only do it better for many, many years to come. And so I don't know. I saw him do – if he can spread the ball around and run a team that puts 3 7-footers on the court at the same time, I think if we can kind of taper that down and can not necessarily play small ball but play normal basketball without a 7'1" 3-man, I think Garland can be special. So we'll see what he does with Donovan Mitchell this year. See if he can get Donovan Mitchell over on the wing, clapping for the ball instead of kind of dominating the ball and pounding the ground during the fourth quarters. We'll see. I don't know.
That'll be the issue. Do they coexist? But again, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about our team. So
you're right. He doesn't have Donovan Mitchell on his team in our hypothetical draft. I agree. And so that's one place where we're just going to disagree on those, and we'll revisit this. Number 13, another point guard, albeit not a small one, right? I got LaMelo Ball here at number 13. I haven't heard you mention LaMelo Ball's name. I don't get the vibe he's your type of player from an off-the-court social media attitude. And I'm sure that you like his dad so much. I'm sure that kind of permeates into your love for LaMelo Ball. I've got him at 13 on my list because I see him do special things that I've not seen an NBA point guard do from a passing standpoint in a really long time. I see really special stuff, like elite, next level IQ type stuff. And then I throw in the fact that he is, I think, 6'7", certainly 6'6". Let's see what he is. I think he's like 6'7", just a shade over 200. 6'7", 180. My bad. Yeah. We need to feed him, Jonathan. Yes. So we need to put him on a workout plan and feed the kid. But 6'7" for a point guard, I think he can turn into a really good defender. What do you think about LaMelo Ball? Where is he at on your list?
Well, I probably dropped him a couple spots lower than I would have because of his father, honestly. But
it's fair.
I have him at 8, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
Wow. Okay.
I got a little intel that would have pushed him up for me. I wouldn't have put him there originally.
All right, tell me, Woj. Tell me what you got, Woj.
So spoke with somebody who went and worked out with the Hornets, not too long ago, and LaMelo Ball was part of one of the workouts.
A player or a coach?
Player.
And
said that LaMelo Ball does things that are impossible to do seamlessly. And there are things he sees that nobody else in the league other than LeBron and Luka see. And there are that he is already elite. People just don't realize it because of his situation with Charlotte. And the guy I'm talking to is a sharp dude. So it's not like, he's like a fan of LaMelo Ball. But he did say he is incredibly tiny, not height-wise, but he said he's really thin. And that's the problem. So I think over 7 years, and the other part that I did like was apparently he's a gym rat. He'll stick around. He'll be there early. He'll stay late. He'll do all that stuff. So, his all that social media BS and all whatever. Okay, I'm worried about what's on the court. And so, man, I'll tell you, I have seen him play a little bit, and you cannot take your eyes off of him when he has the ball. You can't. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. So I have him at 8. I'm looking, and look, I'm going to take it a step further. This is going to shock you because of how well you know me and how old school I am with how I think the game should be played. I have him as one of those guys with a star next to him, but I have the word close next to it, where he could be the best player on a championship team. I think he could.
I think I see flashes, Jonathan. I do. I'm really surprised you have him at 8, just based purely on his shot mechanics. Yeah, I mean, you and your robotic perfection, shooting ass. I did not think you put LaMelo on your list that high. But you know what? He shoots it pretty damn well.
Go in, man.
Why? His feet are touching.
I don't know.
His feet are touching.
It makes no sense, but he is 6'7".
I know.
I don't know, man. He plays. Like, when I watched him play in high school, it made me want to vomit.
It made me want to throw up. Well, because you saw him not playing any defense.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is never going to work. But, man, he might be a Hall of Famer. He really might be. I know that's
dude could play, man. This dude could really play. I'm really excited to watch him play this year. It does suck. Miles Bridges did something horribly illegal. He beat somebody, a girl or something. Didn't he? I think it was violence or whatever on a female, which is absurd and preposterous and despicable. So I think that one's going to stick. I don't think he's wiggling out of that one. I don't think that dude's playing basketball this year, to be quite honest with you. So LaMelo Ball probably is missing his second best player. Am I missing somebody on the Hornets that's better than Miles Bridges?
Rozier scores it a little better, but not than Bridges. Yeah, you're probably right.
Bridges is 20 plus, man.
You're right.
Yeah. So that's going to hurt him. But you know what? I mean, that may let him flourish even more. He may flourish, man. He may be. I mean, I could see him scoring 25 a game.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
Yeah, no, not at all.
He can play 38, 39 minutes a game. He's young. He's athletic. He's bouncy. I do worry about the fact that he weighs 180 pounds, but it is what it is. So I like LaMelo there, and I really like LaMelo's upside. Really, really, really like LaMelo's upside. Plus, there's enough there.
If you told me 3 or 4 years was our win, he's not there. 7 years. I got him. I think it's a big win.
Yeah. If I asked you pre-draft, what are the odds that you would have LaMelo Ball in your 10 best NBA players under age 30? What are the odds of that?
I wouldn't have let you finish the statement before I walked away or hung up.
I know. That's why I worry is like some of these guys like Jaden Ivey, I'm making the opposite. I'm like, oh my God, Jaden Ivey is going to be great. I watched a YouTube video. Like, I'll be the first one to admit, I don't know shit about Jaden Ivey, right? I haven't worked him out. I haven't gotten to see him up close, guys like that. But all right, we've got our guy, right? This is our guy, Jayson Tatum at number 12. He's still 24 years old. Perfect age for this hypothetical 7-year window. Puts him at 31. You're going to get the absolute best 7 years, presumably, barring injury or any kind of unforeseen circumstance from Jayson Tatum, age 24 to 31. He's already the alpha for the Celtics, even though he wasn't in the finals because my man Jaylen was. I've got him 3 spots ahead of Jaylen. I'm kind of second guessing because I think that the ceiling for LaMelo might be higher than Jayson Tatum. I'm thinking maybe I should have put LaMelo higher than Jayson Tatum on this list. The problem is we've just seen so much from Jayson Tatum already. And I've probably got a sour taste in my mouth because I don't collect his cards and I had to choose. And the last thing we saw from him was just I didn't like it in the finals. I probably put more emphasis on the disappearing act than you do. But maybe it was an injury we don't know about. Some NBA players like to bitch and whine and complain about injuries, and some just don't talk about it. Some of them are injured and they just don't talk about it. So maybe there's more to it I don't know about. Comment below if you know something that I don't know. Maybe I just missed it. But I got Tatum at 12.
Well, and not to mention you're a Jaylen Brown guy. So that
Yes.
also probably, hampers that a little bit. He was the most intriguing of everybody on the list to me as far as how high I was going to put him. I have him at 4. Okay.
Oh, my God. I swear to God, I'm about to turn this thing off. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. He doesn't move horizontally. His center of gravity's too high. He's not – you have him at 4?
Okay, if you'll let me finish. All right. So of all of the guys on the list, okay, like you take a guy like Anthony Edwards, who we're going to get to, okay, and if Anthony Edwards ended up being in the next 7 years significantly better than Jayson Tatum, I'm not going to be shocked, okay? But here's the fact. Jayson Tatum, at the very beginning of his career, was a playoff killer. Now, he wasn't the best player on the Celtics, okay?
Yeah.
But he was a playoff killer. He had that it. He is stiff. He does struggle to get super clean looks. It does look funny, okay? He didn't play well in the finals, but he's been a killer in the playoffs his entire career. You and I talked about him in the draft. I was like, why are they taking him so high? He's too stiff. He doesn't move. He still looks stiff to me.
We coached against him in EYBL. You remember? You remember when he played for St. Louis? Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you on all of those things, okay? I'm just looking at the fact that the dude has been incredibly productive on the biggest stage. I get it. He didn't do it in the finals. I think everything I've ever heard about the guy, everything anybody's ever told me about him is that he has that it. Okay.
Yeah.
He wants to be Kobe. He ain't never going to be Kobe, but I'm saying he wants to be Kobe. He wants to be that guy. He lives, eats, breathes, drinks basketball. That's all he does. Okay. And he has a proven track record. So I think at 24 years old, over the next 7 years, I think he's got a better chance of winning games and titles than most of the guys on this list. I do. Do I think I still would look, dude? I watch him play, and half the shots he takes, I'm like, God, he's not even close to being open. That's a terrible shot, right? But I mean, God dang, look at his numbers. I mean,
he's better. He's better. His numbers are better than Jaylen Brown. His percentage, his shooting is not as good. But that doesn't mean he's not as good a shooter. It just means I don't like the shots he takes.
I think Brandon Ingram is a more gifted scorer than him. Yeah. But the fact remains, Brandon Ingram's not a freaking killer like Jayson Tatum is. That's it. But
situations dictate a lot of perception.
I do agree. And I love Brandon Ingram, by the way. I do. I really like Brandon Ingram. Don't get me wrong.
We haven't gotten to Brandon Ingram on my list. Keep that in mind.
Or on mine. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got me convinced. Tatum's better than Brown. I've got him ranked better because of his offensive prowess, and his numbers are significantly better. I don't own any of his basketball cards.
Bro, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer when he's done.
So is Carmelo Anthony. I think he's Carmelo Anthony. That's what I see when I see Jayson Tatum, Jonathan. That's what I see, dude.
I don't know. Does Carmelo Anthony in his prime take that Celtics team to the finals?
Carmelo Anthony was never on a team like that, Jonathan.
I'm asking. You think he does?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. He was never on a team like that. Carmelo never once played on a single team as good as that team.
The reason why I'm telling you he doesn't, he was a problem when he was in Denver. Talent-wise, sure, but he was a problem. Jayson Tatum's not a problem. I mean, anyhow, go ahead. Move on. I know.
Yeah, we'll move on. Right now, you would take Jayson Tatum's career resume at the end of his career over Carmelo Anthony's?
Yeah, I would.
I think they're going to be what? We'll see. That's what we say in Louisiana, by the way. I think they'll be similar. But we'll see. Yeah.
Carmelo made one first-team All-League. One. Jayson Tatum just did that last year at 24.
That's a good point, even though he didn't deserve it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Here we go. I got Brandon Ingram at number 11. I got to believe we're getting close to Brandon Ingram on your list.
Brandon Ingram was number 14 on my list. So, yeah, we're close.
Right.
We're close.
Pretty close.
Yep.
You like Tatum obviously better than Ingram. I just think Ingram is a victim of circumstance. He had the issue with, the Lakers I think that kind of stalled the beginning of his career. And now he's had Zion in, Zion out, Zion in, Zion out. 57 different point guards, different coaches. There's no stability. And that's why I think if you plug Brandon Ingram into the Celtics would be better. That's just my personal opinion. Not a lot better. Look where I've got them ranked on my list, 12 and 11. But, man, Brandon Ingram's numbers are no joke, man. I'm going to pull him up. You talk about Brandon Ingram. I'm going to pull up a comparison between Brandon Ingram's numbers last year and Jayson Tatum and see what happens. You start talking.
Okay, so first of all, Brandon Ingram's numbers last year were amazing, and he's an amazingly gifted scorer, and people are sleeping on him. He's ridiculous, okay? My thing with him and Tatum is this. If you put Jayson Tatum on the Pelicans at the end of a game, do you think that they split who has the ball between him and CJ McCollum? Do you think that's the case? I'm asking.
No.
Okay. They did that with Brandon Ingram. And I think it was wrong. I don't think they should have. But there's not a world that exists where Jayson Tatum isn't that guy. And I think Brandon Ingram gets his shot off easier than Jayson Tatum does. All I'm saying is I don't think he has that every night I'm going to go kill you, because I think he's talented enough to do it.
Yeah. And look, I've got it pulled up. Tatum's numbers are better. They're significantly better. He did play 2 more minutes, which helps, and he takes a lot more shots. Brandon Ingram shoots a little bit better percentage. Tatum needs to work on that. But Tatum shot a better percentage from 3 and took over twice as many, Jonathan. Effective field goal percentage is Tatum, which really surprised me. I really thought it was going to be Ingram because I thought he's a pretty damn efficient scorer. 83% from the line, 85% from the line. Both of them are exceptional. Ingram is a little bit worse rebounder, a little bit better distributor of the ball. That's not a surprise there. Ingram does play a little bit of point forward, and they don't really have a true point guard because Kira Lewis got hurt, and then McCollum's not really a true point guard. So Ingram has the ball a lot, pretty high usage rate for a wing. 22.7 points versus 26.9. Again, over 3 shots a game more, right at 3 shots a game more. Tatum's a better defender. We know that. And then offensive ratings pretty similar, but Ingram's a little bit better. Where's their PER? I know that's a big deal. I'm going to check out their PER. I'm guessing it's going to be there it is, 18.7 to 21.8. Yeah, he's better. I mean, Tatum's better. He's got better numbers on a better team. So who knows?
Tell me this. Would you have ever thought, because I think it can be argued now, it's close at least, would you have ever thought that you would have looked back and go, Brandon Ingram is going to have a better NBA career than Ben Simmons?
No. I mean, I thought Ben was a can't miss, dude.
I did too.
I thought Ben was a can't miss, assuming he never became even an average shooter.
Agreed.
I still think he's a can't miss.
Agreed.
But the thing that's missing is the brain inside of his cranium. Yeah, that's the problem, right? I didn't see this coming. I didn't see the weird anxiety stuff. And not that that's something to make light of, but I didn't see any of this stuff and any of this sensitivity and all this whatever the hell's going on. So, no, I never would have thought that, man.
Yeah,
I never would have thought that.
100%.
And by the way, did we just glaze over Ben Simmons in our honorable mention, or did I just take him out?
Well, you did. You said, remember we said, I told you I think he'd be in my top.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, I see him in my so I got him around 50, right? I mean, and that's assuming he gets his shit together. We don't know that's going to happen. All right, here we go. We're on number 10. This is the top 10, right? This is where your money's made here. Devin Booker. I got him here. He's the perfect age. He's the perfect shooting guard in a league where there aren't that many of these guys out there. He's like everything that Beal is, only I think he's better, and I think he's younger. And I might be biased because his team's better, but his team wasn't better for about 4 years. And plus, didn't the dude drop like 60 in the Garden? And that's special right there. So not many people score 60 in an NBA basketball game.
70. Yeah.
It was 70. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points, man.
Wow.
And he did it like in his second year or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Something crazy like that on a terrible team.
Yeah.
I got Booker number 10. I don't know what else to say about him. Obviously, he can be the best player on a title team because they were right there, man. I mean, they were right there. They could have beat him. I mean, if Giannis had hyperextended his knee, he'd have a ring.
He's not the best player on that team, though.
Oh, you think Chris Paul was that year?
Yeah, I still think he was. I mean, I know the numbers dictate.
You think Darius Garland? You think Darius Garland?
Probably Saric, yeah. I had Booker at 9, so we were right there, you and me. I worry about ceiling, but he is also a killer. I mean, he is a freaking cold-blooded killer who, he cares a lot about it. So like that takes me a long way with guys like that. I just don't know, I mean, you put it, man, is he it's kind of like somebody was talking about the other day about Donovan Mitchell, like the Knicks not taking him and then Cleveland taking him, whatever. He has a skill set. Donovan Mitchell has a skill set that's hard to find, right? Where you can initiate offense, create your own shot, get to your spots, this and that. But so what is he? Is he like the 9th best version of LeBron and Luka and those guys? So where does that get you, right? Where does Booker, right? Is what number version is he of
Ray Allen?
No. Because he puts it on the floor better. But I'm saying like,
no. Dude, hold on.
Ray Allen put it on the floor well early in his career.
Ray Allen.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think Booker puts it on the floor even better. But my point is, in today's game, right? Leading scorers on winning teams, what is he, the 10th best of those? Like, what is he? So yeah. I just don't think he's the best player on a title team. Maybe he is. Maybe he ends up being. But last year
he was right there.
Yeah, I know.
He was already there, and he was already there at age 25, 24.
And I do think that Chris Paul gets a little more credit at times than he probably deserves. And it's kind of like the chicken or the egg, right? So yeah, Booker was there. They didn't win. Paul comes in, they win. Well, what if Chris Paul had been there before and then Booker comes? Well, the fact remains Chris Paul went to OKC and they went to the playoffs. I mean, enough said, right? So,
fair.
I don't know. I'm just looking at it like that. I like him a lot, though. I do. I don't have a star next to him as the best player.
Well, the time's coming where we're going to see what Booker is without Chris Paul. They're going to have to replace him with somebody. That time is coming. He's going to hit a wall at some point. It's sad to say, but that time's coming. He's not quite the same, and we know he's injury prone. Although he's been on a nice little stretch lately of health. So we'll see. We'll see what Devin Booker is when Chris Paul disappears, and if he can take his jump to the next level. Cade Cunningham is number 9 on my list. This is a tough one. So the same types of decisions we were making further back in the list with the Scotty Barnes and the Mobley and the Jaden Ivies. We're making, well, not really Ivy, but Mobley and Barnes and those guys. We're having to make that same decision here. But I think we can both agree what we've seen from Cade Cunningham is even more so, even to another level.
Agreed.
Okay. Where is he on your list?
I have him at 13 on my list. So we're not far off. Now, I will say he was one of 2 or 3 guys that I really struggled with because when I first looked at the list, I initially had him up as high as like number 9. And so I dropped him to 13 because again, I'm going back to who am I starting my team with to go win titles or to go win a bunch of games and put myself at a high seed. And to me, I just don't have enough of a runway with him yet. But there's that gap to me. Like if you told me 7 years from now, he's the 5th best player in the league, I'm not going to be shocked at all.
If we redid this list next year, and I told you you're going to put him top 5 on your list, you would not be shocked.
No, not at all.
One more season, one more, addition to his body of work might be enough to eliminate any doubt. Depends on the leap, right? This is the season. Let's see what kind of leap he takes. He's got some guys around him. They're young. They're not supposed to win anything. But the good news is he's got talented players around him. But the even better news is that he's still the unquestioned alpha, I think.
And I think like when I look at Barnes and Mobley and I put those guys ahead of him by a spot or 2, right? It's I look at those 2 and I take into account the fact that those guys are in semi-winning situations already. And so I think that matters. Their development is going to be different. Cade Cunningham's a super smart dude, but you're in Detroit. I don't care how good a guy you are. Like losing is toxicity, man. I mean, it's bad, and so I just wonder, does that hamper his development? There's a lot of what ifs with him, but I love his game, dude. I really do. I liked him in college. I loved him, so we'll see. We'll see.
The great ones figured out, LeBron figured it out. He was in Cleveland, which was like the worst place to be, I guess, around that time. But we'll see. We'll see if he figures it out. I like Cade. I'm really high on Cade. I think he checks every single box, every single box. I think he's got prototypical plus size. I think he can guard enough. I think he's built enough physically, like width, not just height and length. I think he can score. I think he can pass. I think he's well-rounded. I just think he's everything you would want in that, high usage rate combo guard type. Give me the ball and let me make every single thing happen, just like Doncic does, just like Harden did, just like those guys did. I think he's got that. We just haven't seen enough body of work yet, but I think we're both excited to watch what he does this year.
Yeah.
This was tough. This was really freaking hard for me. And this is where we're finally going to get to talk about little people. And when I mean little people, I mean let's say 6'2" and under.
Okay.
When is the last time? In fact, name every time you can think of based on your vast knowledge of the NBA history. I know you and I pour into the NBA history. Start naming alphas that were 6'2" and under that hoisted the trophy, that won the title.
So I don't count Bob Cousy because Bill Russell was still the best player on that team.
Unquestionably.
Even though Bob Cousy was the MVP of the league that year.
He was. He was, but he was. Right. Bill Russell was the guy. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not Cousy.
So you move forward.
One guy you and I hate, you're not going to. Of course.
Isaiah's really the guy because there's not another one that's tiny like that that's done this. AI went to the finals. Chauncey Billups was not a small guy. And so it's really just Isaiah, and that's it, dude. That's it. End of the list,
Period, Jonathan. Yeah. Period. Yeah. End of story. That's it. Yep. Trey Young, and that's why I struggle because he's so freaking good. Like his numbers are preposterous. I think people are starting to take him for granted, but they just don't do it. And a lot of people have a lot of money invested in his cards. You don't need to win a title for your cards to be valuable. But if you want to be transcendent and you want your cards to be valuable 25 years from now, like really valuable, you got to have one. You got to have two. You got to have four. And in NBA history tells us it ain't happening, man. Isaiah was that really rare anomaly, that rare exception where little people are the alpha. And so I don't know. Maybe he teams up with somebody and he's the beta. I don't know. But I've got him 8th on my list just because he's so special and we've seen enough of him. And I also do think he gets a bad rap because his career is going to be inextricably woven with Luka Doncic's, and that is just not fair because I think, we'll get to that in a second, but I think Luka Doncic is transcendent, and I think Trey Young is an exceptional basketball player and a Hall of Famer and all those things, but I think Luka Doncic is on a very short list of people that I've seen at his age where I can say he is on a fast track to the top 10 greatest players that ever lived. Yeah. There's not many people that I've ever said that. I said it when I saw LeBron. Obviously, I was like, God, even without being able to shoot a ball coming out his rookie year, we both looked at him. We're like, oh, I've never seen anything like this. Yeah. Doncic is the next one. Even Durant, I didn't think that about Durant when I saw him. I thought, man, this is the next Iceman. I thought this is the next 30-point scorer. I didn't think fast track to top 10 players. Doncic, that's what I see. And I think Trey Young's always compared to him, Jonathan. It's kind of just not fair. It's kind of desensitized people to his ability.
Well, it's a silly comparison, first of all. But it's I have Trey Young at 12 on my list. I could have dropped him lower than that. And he was another guy, like I told you with Cunningham, I was confused because, again, I go back to why I'm starting this team to do what? And that's to win. Trey Young does not play winning basketball. Now, does he not play winning basketball because of what's around him? I don't know. But he did the same thing in Oklahoma, right? They probably were a little better than they were supposed to be, though, because of him. The Hawks were probably a little better than they were supposed to be because of Trey Young. His offensive genius is unquestionable. I mean, it's ridiculous. But to me, if I'm starting a team to try to go win as many games as possible and win titles, he's miserable to play basketball with, in my opinion. Okay. And I think that, and that's all I have to go on right now because I haven't seen anything else. If I thought there was potential to change, then yeah, he would have to be the beta on a championship team.
Yeah.
Willing to do that, I don't know. And then you put on top of that the fact that he's never going to be a good defender. So, at the most important defensive position probably in the league, right? I mean, you have to be able
You're always covering for him defensively, and that's
right.
what DeJounte Murray is doing in the city of Atlanta. That is
Right.
that is exactly why he's there, even though it's not a perfect fit offensively.
Right.
He's an elite defender. Like, he's next level shit, man. And so he's there to cover that gap, you know, in your defensive roster.
So I think I kind of compare him to a Westbrook type, not the style of play at all.
Of course.
Just amazing statistics because he's so gifted and because Trae Young's so skilled. But does it translate to wins? I just don't think. I mean, James Harden's proven it. You don't win playing like that. You just don't. And James Harden's as skilled a dude as you've ever seen. And I do think Trae Young. I think he has it though. Like, I think he has fire. I think he wants the ball in those clutch, all that stuff. I don't know. I have been 12.
Yeah. Again, it's no slight. We think he's the 12th best player on earth under age 30, right? And the other names that are on here are guys that are, you know, just as exceptional and just as gifted. But I mean, I just keep going back to the deal where, you know, I have him here because I think he's going to win. He's capable of winning a hell of a lot of games. And I think it is the way he plays basketball, I think, will develop over time and as he matures, because he's still only 23 years old. That's still really young. Little people can't impose their will in the playoffs. It's just officiated differently. I don't like the fact that it's officiated differently. I don't. Right. I think it's cost my favorite team a title. I think that Celtics series was an absolute joke, the way they officiated the Bucks and the Celtics. But that's playoff basketball. I mean, it's not like it was a surprise. I mean, that's the way it is. Little tiny creatures can't impose their will on other gigantic giants that walk the planet. That's what the NBA is, man. You know, the question is, what happens when DeJounte Murray or Cade Cunningham guards Trae Young, and then, you know, the guy that's guarding John Collins is Scotty Barnes, who switches freaking everything. I just don't. I think it's over. I think it's a wrap, man. I don't think that high pick and roll ad nauseum basketball works when you've got two elite defenders. You just can't have a big void like that on the defensive end.
That's the issue too with little people. Is, I mean, if you look at my list and you go, wait a minute, you have Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley ahead of Trae Young over the next 7 years. Look, most people – if you'd have asked me, you know, I don't know, 2 years ago, I'd have said, yeah, that's crazy. You're right. But just watching the way he plays and watching how it affects other guys on a team, and I'm just looking at upside. Look, I may be dead wrong. I mean, that dude may get, you know, another freaking stud wing. Like, what happens if a guy like Durant shows up in Atlanta? It's not happening, but I'm saying, what if that happened? You think Trae Young would be willing to play off the ball if Kevin Durant were on the floor? Yeah, I think he would. I do. Okay, that changes everything for him, right?
Of course.
But he can't be the best guy. That's my whole point. So I can't start my team with him ahead of some of these guys.
And then going back to our deal, you know, about little people not winning titles. I mean, people are going to be screaming at the screen saying Steph Curry, Steph Curry, Steph Curry. I don't. He's not little like Trae Young. He's just not. And I know they list him like they list Steph Curry as 6'2", 185, but I think Steph Curry was like 6'4". Like, that's not right.
Yeah, he's almost 6'4".
I don't think that's right. I think he's like 6'4", 185, 190.
I had a couple guys tell me you don't realize how big he is. Like,
yeah, that's different. Like 6'4" and 6'2" are very different. And Trae Young's 164 pounds.
Yeah,
it's just hard for little guys like that.
Probably 200 pounds now too.
Yeah, and then look at Steph Curry, how much he struggled. I mean, this was the first year he won the NBA Finals. I mean, he was obviously off the charts, insane, ridiculous, man. You know, just transcendent for sure. So I got Trae Young at 8, but ironically, I do not have him highlighted. And I'm highlighting players that I think can be the best player on teams that win titles.
Okay.
And so, again, remember the criteria was not just winning titles, but winning as many games as possible.
So you have Tatum as the best player on a title team.
Because he was there.
Okay. I didn't think you would have done that.
He wasn't the best player in those finals.
For sure.
But he was the best player on the team. I have to admit it, by a small margin, but by a margin. And he was there, man. I mean, he was a couple games away from being that. And so was Booker. That's why I got Booker highlighted. He was right there. It was almost him. It was almost him at age 24. It was almost both of them at age 24 and 23, Jonathan.
Bro, then how do you have these guys listed so low?
You mean, how do I have Trae Young ahead of these guys?
Yeah.
Because it's going based on wins. And I think Trae Young's going to – I mean, from what I've seen from Trae Young, I mean, I don't think he's got a better chance of winning a title than LaMelo Ball, but I think he's got a better chance of winning games upon games upon games upon games. And remember, we're also eliminating any uncertainty. I know what I'm getting in Trae Young. I still don't know what I'm getting in LaMelo Ball. I don't know what I'm getting in LaMelo Ball, but I think LaMelo Ball's upside might be higher than Trae Young, but he might not get there until age 27 or 28.
I guess my point is this. You know what you're getting from Tatum, and you have him as the best player on a title team, potentially. And they've been there. Trae Young's never been there.
Here. Make that easy. Get his ass out of there. Here's what I'm going to do right here for you. I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to go here. There. Let's keep going. All right, go after Trae Young. I got Zion. You had Zion 29. You legitimately had Zion 29 because of one story you heard about him eating Raising Cane's at a team meal.
Nope. That's not why I had him as that.
Give me more then. You're going to have to do a lot more because you got a lot of people that are shaking their head looking at the screen. You know, his entourage this, his entourage that. Dude's 22 years old. You're worried about his feet and his weight. That's primarily.
The whole thing. And I'm not sure he's going to be disciplined enough. But even if he is disciplined enough, the fact remains he has foot injuries that started in high school. People don't realize that. Okay. Then obviously came out in college. Okay. That shoe thing, that's a foot issue that started in high school. They created that. And then he comes to the league and he's got this and he doesn't control his weight. Even if he controls his weight, I am concerned. It's a Joel Embiid thing for me. Okay. Even though Embiid has been healthier, right? You and I would agree that would be our biggest concern with him. My deal is with Zion, and he has been transcendent when he's on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if he were healthy, if you could tell me he's healthy, he's 3, maybe 4 on my list. Okay. But I don't trust that he's going to be there at the end of the day. And so that's why he's off. So
that's why these lists give me anxiety. Dude, I literally was trying to put this list together and I'm like, Trae Young is like incredible, but he's little. And I was like, I don't think he has a better chance of winning a title than LaMelo Ball. But look what he's done. And then I go back to all NBAs and all-stars and leading the league in assists and all that.
And Zion, look, here's the reality. Zion, okay, when he was fat, averaged 27 a game on 60% shooting. So, like, he is unbelievable. There's never been anybody like him.
Yeah.
He's a poor rebounder, average rebounder at best, okay?
Yeah.
He is a completely unwilling defender.
Why is he a poor rebounder?
Because he doesn't care enough to go get the ball.
That's exactly what I thought you would say. I agree.
Right.
I agree. That's an effort issue. Obviously, he's got the body to do it. We've seen people with that, not the same body, but similar bodies, but not quite the stature, be great rebounders, right?
Well, he averages 7 rebounds a game, 8 rebounds a game. He ought to get 7 offensive rebounds a game.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, people want to compare him to Barkley. First of all, it's not as far off as people think because Barkley was freaky athletic in Philly. Not like Zion, but freaky.
Not like Zion. Yeah.
But Barkley was a goddamn animal when it came to going after the ball. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm with you. I don't have first issue with you putting Zion that high.
These two guys are miserable. The only difference is I don't think Zion can win a title as the best player. I don't believe that. I don't believe that because again, the playoffs are different, and I just don't think he's ever going to develop a proficient outside shot. His release is slow. His release is funky. He's turned sideways. His mechanics are terrible. I don't see him having a mid-range game because I've never seen him shoot a dribble, step back, pull up. I've never seen him shoot a plain pull up. Have you?
No, but
maybe it's because he doesn't need to because he put his ass on the rim. I mean, maybe I don't know, but
LeBron didn't. He didn't at the beginning. When they lost in the finals to the Spurs, they sunk every ball screen. And
I know, but LeBron came out of the gates at least taking and missing threes. True. You know, Zion's not going to develop into a three-point shooter. He might shoot threes like Tayshaun Prince shot threes if he's wide open, but usually you're wide open for a reason. I just worry he's not a 3-level scorer. That's what I worry about. And I worry that as his athleticism wanes, I think his lack of skill is really going to be exposed. Like, I think he hits a wall really – I'm not saying when he'll hit the wall, but when he hits it, it's going to be very abrupt.
So why not Tatum ahead of – oh, you don't have Tatum on the list anymore. I'm sorry. Why not?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Why not Booker ahead of him then? You know what you're going to get from Booker, and you think he can be the best player on the title team.
That's a good point. You make a good point. I probably need to rethink my list.
I'm just saying.
Why not Cade Cunningham? Why not Cade Cunningham ahead of Zion?
That's a good point, too. I think because Cade Cunningham has still yet to do freakishly ridiculous things on a floor that you're like, oh, my God, right?
I feel like when I see Zion Williamson, like one of the only people that I've ever seen in my life, like pro athletes, that's made me think what I think when I see Zion is like Bo Jackson. You see these people, like special people, like special people, like they're just. And so when I see that, and I guess really I'm throwing consistency out the window when I see Zion, maybe because I'm so easily I'm in a trance, just from watching him do things that none of these other people on this list can do. To be quite honest with you,
I think he really there's a legitimate truth to. I think he could go lay it in or dunk it every time if he wanted to, or at least get fouled. And people back off of him, and he still can get there.
He's still doing it. They're gapping the hell out of him. But if you gap him too much, he gets a running start. It's the same problem you have with Giannis.
Right.
Speaking of. All right, let's keep moving. You're right. I'll be the first one to admit it. I probably have Zion too far up here. He lacks skill. He's got injury concerns. He's got work ethic issues. I need to revisit this issue. I need to revisit this list. I feel like LaMelo is too low too. I think LaMelo should be moved up as well. I don't know. It's tough because all those guys ahead of him are really good. Yep. Let's go to number 6 on my list. Where'd you have Zion on your list? 29.
Remember 29/3 or 4, right? I mean,
I know. Yeah, you're covering your ass. You just don't want to say anything because.
No, I do. I'm telling you, I don't want him on the list.
I got Joel Embiid number 6. Where you got Joel? I got to believe he's right around there for you. Same spot. If he was 24, I might even have him higher. There's not much more to go because the next guys are studs, but 28 means he's 35 at the end of our 7-year hypothetical. That's old for a guy with, back injuries, although it looks like he's put a lot of them behind him. Right. We know how back injuries can kind of revisit players, especially gigantic people. Is he the biggest guy in the NBA?
Yes.
I think he is too, don't you? I think he's the biggest dude
as well because he's 300 pounds, I think, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anybody out there is bigger, not necessarily a better big man. I'm just saying just like actually bigger human being. I think Joel Embiid's probably the biggest. He's a special player, man. Will he be remembered the same way as Ewing and Ewing, Olajuwon, Steven Adams?
No. That was good. Ewing-ish. But hell, even Ewing was always in the Eastern Conference Finals or made it to the finals.
That's a good point, man.
I'm not putting him there because look, Patrick Ewing is in the 25 to 30 greatest players of all time. Will Embiid be that?
We're not done. Let's remember.
I'm asking, will he be that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. What if he makes 5 more straight All NBA teams?
He's still got to go. He's got to get his team to the finals, man. He's got to do that. I mean,
how many times did Ewing do it?
Twice.
Twice or once?
Twice. Once in the strike shortened season, and then the other year when Jordan was playing baseball.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they lost both of them, but I mean they were there.
Who did they lose to? They lost to the Rockets,
and then the Spurs in the strike shortened season. Yeah,
Spurs.
Duncan's second year. Yeah, Robinson. Yeah. See, that's the other thing about Robinson. Robinson wins 2 titles when he's the second best player on the team.
Fair. Alpha titles mean a lot more than beta titles, dude. I'm with you on that. You and I always agree on that. And when we talk about it, people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you've got – there's a big difference. Yeah, there's a big difference, man, between being the man and being Robert Horry. There's a big difference. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to say it. And then sometimes it's that gray area with Kobe and Shaq. I mean, I know you don't think it's gray, but, like, sometimes it's a gray area. Like, if the Celtics would have won it, I'm giving Jaylen Brown the alpha title, right?
Well, he was. He'd have won the Finals MVP.
He would have won the Finals MVP. It would have been an argument that I would have made. I can tell you that right now. I might not have been a logical one, but I'd have made it.
No, he'd have won it.
Embiid is 6 on our list. If Embiid was, perfectly healthy and had a perfectly healthy career to this point, we might be singing a different tune, about where he fits historically because he missed 3-4 years.
Oh man, look, if he's healthy.
Is he 28? He probably missed 4 full basketball years.
Yeah.
He could have been All NBA in those years as well.
Yeah, I think he also, if he would have spent more time on the block, being willing to be double teamed so the ball could come out, a little bit. And I think his team's better, but he hates it. That's why he wants to play the face-up game. But I think that, does he play winning basketball? Well, he hasn't to date. I'm not saying he doesn't play winning basketball, but he hasn't won to date.
Yeah.
So that's what all of this is measured on. All of what we're talking about. It's wins and titles. That's it.
Yeah. Does he win an MVP before his career is over? You think?
Really?
I
think. Well, let me take that back.
Well, hold on, because
he will have to do it in the next 2 years. If he doesn't do it in the next 2 years, he won't do it. I just think in the next 2 years, probably next year's his best chance. Even though I think Giannis is going to win it again, it will happen where, because he's been the runner-up 3 times. That BS way that the writers go about it.
I don't see it happening. He's not the best. I mean, he needs help. He needs some injury help because he is not a better player than Giannis, and he's not on a better team than Giannis, and he's not a better player than Jokic, and I don't think he's on a better team than Jokic, although they're comparable.
But if Harden is healthy,
that's true. You make a great point. We don't know. I mean, Philly could win the East, right? I mean,
my point.
Not out of the question.
Look, he can win MVP this year. He's still not the best player in the world, period.
Yeah.
We've said it a million times.
We know that. Yeah, we know what MVP means. It doesn't necessarily go to the best player. All right, number 5 on my list, I got Ja Morant. I got another little guy, man, and this is too high. I'm already regretting putting him up here. 6'3", 174, an inch taller and 10, 15 pounds heavier than Trey Young, but still a little person.
He doesn't play ball.
Too high.
No, I love him. I have him at 5'2". I love it. I think he is a freaking killer. And I know he's little, but he doesn't play small. And I think he's a true leader. I think he's a freaking winner. I think he's won everywhere he's been. I think he plays winning basketball. I don't think he guards like he should, but who does anymore? But no, I think he can unquestionably be the best player and leader on a championship team. And I would definitely put him as high as 5. Yeah.
If you had $10,000 and I made you bet yes or no, Ja Morant wins an MVP in the NBA.
Oh, I'd bet yes for $10,000.
I would too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
One, you say one. Yeah, for sure.
One.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think so too. Man, he plays a brand of basketball that is very appealing to basketball card collectors. Let's put it that way. You would be shocked. I know you don't dabble in cards much, but there's a humongous Vince Carter following out there because he played a brand of basketball that appealed to people.
Yeah.
And so I think Ja Morant checks that box as well. So I'm excited to see. I wish I get the vibe that he just doesn't give a shit about the weights. That worries me.
That could change, though. It could change.
It can change, but I don't get that vibe that it's changing yet. And it seems like it would have changed by now. He's a little bitty dude.
I agree.
And that might come back to haunt him at some point. And this is something that I wanted to talk about. Like, people always compare Morant. They're like, oh, he's going to get hurt. You can't play that brand of basketball that reckless. You're going to, end up like Dwayne Wade and Iverson. I'm like, well, Dwayne Wade and Iverson had really long, productive first ballot Hall of Fame careers, and they're both probably top, 40 players of all time. It can't be done. I mean, just because you jump high.
Of all time.
What's that?
Dwayne Wade's the 3rd best 2 guard of all time.
Yeah, he's top 5 for sure. I mean, we'll agree on that. I mean,
one of the 5 best little people ever, or 2 best little people ever, whatever.
Right. So, look, people throw that out there like, oh, he's going to get hurt. You can't attack the rim all the time like that and survive if you're that little. Well, first of all, Dwayne Wade wasn't little. He was a freaking tank. Yes. He was a humongous person. Little by NBA standards, I guess, maybe, but really he's built like a damn NFL linebacker pretty much. So I like Morant. I love the way he plays. I get the vibe that every single person on his team loves the guy and wants to be on his team. I think all of those people would be damn pissed if they got traded. That's the vibe I get with him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't get the same vibe with a Trey Young. That's just me, man.
I'm with you 100%. I think he is infectious to a city. Right? I think he does that. I mean,
that's his city for sure, man. There ain't no doubt about that. That's his city. Yeah. I got Anthony Edwards 4. Thoughts?
I have him at 7. When I first did the list, and I can see my erasure right here, okay? When I first did it, I had him at 5. And again, to me, it's a body of work thing, which that's it for me. Because
not enough yet.
Yeah, I also have him down as in the Tatum boat and in who else? LaMelo Ball's boat as a guy who is super close to being able to be the best player on a championship team. Like he's at next level. So no, you have him at 4, I have him at 7. I could very easily have him at 5. Nah, he's a stud. You said there was going to be some type of battle for who's the alpha on that team. There is no battle because there's only one alpha on that team. Towns wants to act like he's an alpha, but everybody knows he's not. Anthony Edwards is an alpha, and that will be decided this year, I believe. It's going to be. And I think at some point it's going to cause the Timberwolves to have to push Towns out somewhere else and go get different pieces because they better not trade him. If they trade Edwards, they're crazy.
I think he's untouchable. I think there's a list of guys in the NBA that are 100% untouchable. I think he's on that list. Again, this is a hypothetical, and I'm not saying Doncic is not untouchable, but if Doncic was offered to Minnesota, I think they would say no.
Yeah,
I really believe that, and vice versa, of course. Yeah. But I think that's where they are with those players in their franchise right now. I think that they would both probably reciprocate and say no to each other. You know what I mean?
He's one of the 5 most explosive vertical athletes I've ever seen.
Dude, he is. And I tell you what, man, he brings it from the 3-point line too at a very early age, man. At age 21, he can get it off anytime he wants. He's got great elevation, good mechanics. Shoots a pretty decent percentage from what I recall. I don't have his numbers pulled up, but I see him developing into a knockdown 3-point shooter, which is going to make him 100% impossible to guard. Because I've already seen that second level stuff. We talk about scoring at 3 levels at the rim, mid range, and then 3. I've already seen the mid range stuff. I've already seen the counter moves. And God, we know he can post up. If you get a little guy on him, you try to do a switch where you get a little point on him, a Trae Young or a little Nat like that. It's lights out, man.
And he's an underrated actor.
So where did you have Edwards? 7?
Yeah, what I said.
What'd you say?
He's an underrated actor.
Dude, he's not underrated. I think he's great. I think everybody thought he was great. Did you watch Hustle?
Yes.
Oh, my God. How natural was that? I want to punch him in his face.
He was awesome.
I was like, stop talking to my guy like that. I thought he was a natural.
I believe that's who he is in real life.
I believe it's exact. I don't think he's quite as cutthroat, but I believe he talks a hell of a lot of shit to people. I can guarantee you that. And it's only going to get worse, so the league better get ready. Ja Morant, you had Anthony Edwards 7 on your list.
Yeah.
You had Ja Morant where?
5. I get it, but again, it's a body of work thing for me, and Ja already has a body of work, a little bit more than Edwards for sure.
Yeah, he's got a 1-year head start, right? 1-year head start, 2019 rookie versus a 2020 rookie. Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. He's been the best player on that team since he showed up.
That's fair. But in all fairness, he did not have a lot of people that were competing for it.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. 100%. Yeah.
All right. We're rolling.
Yep.
We're at the top 3, man. We're gonna agree on the top 2. I think we're going to agree on the top 3 because none of these names have been mentioned. So we've got them in some order. My guess is it's going to be the same order. That's my guess, but I might be wrong. Okay. And I might surprise you.
It's going to be different. I think it's going to be different than what you have.
Really? I think I might surprise you.
It's in the 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Right.
I got Nikola Jokic. Do you think Nikola Jokic can be the best player on a championship team?
Without question.
Okay, good. Do you think Anthony Edwards can be?
I told you he's the guy I have that is close.
Yeah.
Along with
forget the close. Look, I'm highlighting the people that I think can be the best player on a championship team.
Yes,
okay.
Anthony Edwards can be. Yes.
Okay.
In 7 years for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we want to talk? This is what's funny. We've bitched and we've talked and we've counterpointed about 28 players or 27 players, and then we get to the top 3. There's really not going to be much disagreement. I mean, Nikola Jokic is a defending 2-time MVP. He's drug a team that was missing its 2nd and 3rd best player, who, by the way, well, one of them was on the top 30 list. The other one definitely would have been if his back worked. And he was missing both those guys, and he drug a bunch of Will Bartons to the playoffs. Right in the middle of the standings. I mean, I think the Nuggets have a chance to come out of the West. Am I the only one? I mean, I wouldn't bet on them against the Warriors.
I can see it.
I think they're as good as the Suns. Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Suns are overrated, first of all, but I think that the Nuggets can definitely come out. My question is, where do you project Jokic's all-time fit? And I'm not talking about, let's not say top 10 overall. I mean, he could be, but I'm just saying, like, as far as centers are concerned, right? So, like, at the end of the day, people don't realize he's already passing up guys like Robinson, Ewing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got Shaq, Olajuwon, obviously Wilt, Kareem, Russell, Moses Malone, right? So can he be in the top 5 centers of all time by the time he's done? He's got 2 MVPs. He's going to have.
You're talking about resume, right? He is on a great trajectory from a hardware perspective, right? Accolades, NBAs, All-Stars, MVPs, things like that. Top 5. Let's see. He can't do that without 2 titles.
Gotta have them.
Okay, he's got to have 2 titles to crack top 5. We know that resume-wise, right? He's got to have 2. So
at least. Do
you think he can get 2 titles in an era where the guys that we're about to talk about at number 1 and 2 are going to have 10 more cracks at it between the 2 of them?
Probably not, and I think he has to have more than 2 to get in the top 5.
I think you're probably if he has 4 MVPs and 2 titles, I mean, he would get in there. But that's
Wilt's got 2, and he's definitely in the top 5.
Yeah, that MVP deal. Yeah, well, hold on. I mean, let's stop. Right.
Okay, move on.
That's another video where we're going to talk about the greatest Wilt stories we ever heard, and then we can even do a video where we talk about the most unbreakable records of all time in the NBA. But we're gonna have to limit it on how many of Wilt's we can count. That's a great question and something to ponder. He's not loved in the hobby, man. This guy's forgotten about in the basketball card hobby because of the way he slithers around the court, But what's funny is, Larry Bird wasn't the most spry cat out there. The difference was Larry Bird was American-born, which is very important because he talks shit and and he was a great story. And he was so tied with the Magic that they just carried each other to a level that, I think only Jordan really surpassed, in my opinion, as far as popularity and public interest. So, Jokic is kind of toiling under the radar from the worldwide stage. I mean, this dude goes and drinks in, his home country and rides horses and crap like that. Yeah. Like he rides those, what are those horses where they're attached to what's it called? The horse racing where you sit in the little carriage and you whip the horse runs.
I don't know.
A chariot kind of thingy. What is that called? Harness racing. Harness racing. Oh. Yes, he harness races. What kind of horse wants a big 7-foot,
put
floppy 280
horse in the cart and let him run.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
All right. I want to see who you got. Who's number 2? You
had Jokic at 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree on 3. Yeah. And this is where, this is tough, man. I got Giannis at 2. Man. Are we matched?
I know we're not. I can't believe you of all people did this.
There's only one reason.
And I know age, is why you did it.
It's the only reason, man. It's the only reason.
I think when Giannis, if he ever dies, because there's a chance he's a vampire or a robot, one of the 2.
Yeah.
Can you be a vampire robot? He might be. I think when they cut him open at the end of it all, they're going to realize that he wasn't human. He's going to play till he's 40.
Yeah.
He's just going to quit just because he's done and wants to do something else, not because he can't play anymore. So let me give you my take as to why I did this, okay? Because I think both of them, I'm going to take it a step further. I think both of them can be top 5 of all time. Both of them, okay? Now, that is a hell of a lift, especially for Giannis at 27 right now, okay? Luka's actually got a better runway, like you said earlier, to do that. Top 5, okay, which they're not going to surpass more than likely Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, right? I mean, that's going to be very difficult to do because Kareem's 6 titles, 6 MVPs, all-time leading scorer until this year. so on and so forth.
Well, the issue with everybody's Rushmore, I mean, anybody who knows anything about basketball has got Jordan, LeBron, Kareem in their 4, right, in some order. And then 4 is where all hell breaks loose because then it depends on how heavily you weight rings, how,
So the
whatever.
problem is going to be is these guys winning rings, right? But I think there's a chance, and here's why. Because both of their games, now I know Giannis's game is based on athleticism and length and all that stuff, but he is starting to get the idea of, I just need to play in the post and make turnaround jump shots and jump hooks. Okay, I can take my 2 threes a game. That's fine, but he is arguably the most imposing defensive player in the history of basketball, because at every position, right? There's the argument could be had that he's that. That's the difference to me between the two. Luka is going to arguably be the greatest magician with the ball of all time, including Magic, including LeBron, because of his ability to score the ball as well as all the passes that he can.
Much better scorer than Magic ever was.
Period. Not even close.
Not even close, right.
Not even close, okay?
He's got flair. He's got flair. He may not have Magic Johnson flair, but he's got
close,
flair.
dude. He's freaking close.
And we also haven't seen his best, so that's what's scary.
If he ever gets to where he shoots 80% from the free throw line, which is inexcusable for him not to. Okay,
it doesn't make any sense.
If he does that, then you pencil him in for 31, 32 a night. Like there's nothing anybody can do about it. So he does that. And I think you take those guys, I think you have 2 ultimate alpha killers that other people want to come play with, that eventually they get enough around them where they're going to win titles, or at least compete against each other for titles every year. Now, I take Giannis because of defense. I take Giannis because, and I'm not saying that Luka doesn't, but obviously from a standpoint of his seriousness off the court, this year it looks a little different going in. But dude, nobody's ever questioned Giannis's work ethic or care or concern about how serious he is. So those are the things that separate him to me, and it's by like this much.
Yeah,
like nothing.
Every single thing you said, I agree with. I just think that 4 years more on tread on the tire matters. Now that being said, you could flip the script and say, well, that means that Brian, you think Doncic has 4 years, before he's age 27. Doncic has 3.5, whatever years. He's got to get a title and 2 MVPs somewhere in there just to keep pace with Giannis.
While Giannis is in the league.
What's that?
While Giannis is in the league.
Yeah. So the reason I'm going to revisit your deal where you think they could be top 5, I think it would be very difficult for them to be top 5 because they're playing in an era where they're both going to be in their prime for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
There's only 7 titles to go around. I wouldn't be surprised if each of them picked up 1 or 2. I'd be really surprised if either one of these guys got to 4 titles. I really would. I mean, Giannis, I would just be shocked if any of these guys, if anybody on this list got the 4 titles. I don't think we've ever seen an NBA, and this is just to put a bow on this. Look how many people that I've highlighted that I think, this is just me, that I think can definitely be the best player on a championship team. Can be, with the right stuff around him, obviously. This is just draft pick number 1, right? What matters is the next, 11 that you put on the roster. But I don't remember this. I don't remember it being this way. I don't remember being this way during Kobe's era. I don't remember, I just don't remember this, Jonathan. And, obviously in Jordan's era, you had Jordan and then maybe one other person, but look how many people he locked out for how many years, right? He could have locked them out longer if he had not gone to play baseball. I think these 2 guys, it's going to be a war of attrition. I don't think either one of them can get the titles that you need to break into that conversation. And that's coming from somebody who's who wants to weight rings less. You know me, and I've got Wilt as my number 4 all time. I'm not sure who you have number 4 all time. I've got Wilt.
I mean, Wilt would probably be 5 for me. I'd probably have Magic 4. But either way, Wilt's 4 or 5, however you want.
And you're a guy who also, obviously, you don't have Bill Russell 4, is what I'm getting at, and so it just depends on how you weight it. how you want to make the argument. I've always made the argument, and I think you share my opinion, that if you put Wilt on the Celtics and you put Bill Russell on the Sixers or the Warriors or whatever they were called, Wilt might have 15 rings.
That's the thing. Like, the other thing about Bill Russell, okay, he won the 11 rings. I get it. And he was the best player. Okay. Sam Jones has 10 rings, and he was the leading scorer. Nobody ever talks about Sam Jones being one of the best two guards of all time.
No one watching this, 4% of the people watching this are going to have any idea who the hell Sam Jones is.
Yeah. Did you know he had 10 rings?
Yeah. Welcome to the party, man. Come along for the ride,
Exactly.
Not that he was a throw-in. The dude mattered. I'm just saying that's what's so funny about it, is that he's got 10 rings, and he was a really good Hall of Fame basketball player, and the average person doesn't know who he was. So, the fact that that Russell has one more ring, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Anything you want to change? Anything you think I'm crazy? Go back through your list. I want to know the guys that you think can be the best player on a championship team, the alpha, and hold it. Hold that Bill Russell MVP trophy.
So I had Luka, Giannis, Jokic, Ant-Man, Ja, Embiid.
So we agree 1 through 6 for sure.
I had LaMelo. I had Tatum. I did not have Booker. Okay. And remember, I said that this guy was super close, and I know you're like, you can't say that. So I guess I'll have to remove him. But I said Scotty Barnes, I thought, could be close to that. So I'll take him off because not enough of body. So yeah,
that's where
all of them except for I don't agree Booker can be. I just don't.
You agree, Cade Cunningham? You've seen enough.
Well, I didn't put Cade Cunningham on because of body of work. That was
next year. You might.
Right. Exactly.
It'd be a lot easier next year. 1 year is tough, man. You need to see a little more. You do, and that's why it gave me anxiety when I'm like, God damn, how do I rate Jaden Ivey versus Donovan Mitchell? God, Donovan Mitchell's gonna make a million All-Star teams, and he's already started it. He's already done it. I know how good he is, but how do you weight those two?
He's never made an All-NBA team. You know what I'm saying? That's where you look at it too.
I know, but neither is Jaden Ivey. He also hasn't played an NBA basketball game.
I'm not saying Jaden Ivey's better than
Yeah. Those guys are tough to compare. The top of the list did not give me any anxiety.
None.
15 through 30 did. Isn't that funny? Because I didn't want to be disparaging to any of these guys. It's just.
And the funniest part about that, giving you the most anxiety, is there's nobody in that 16 through 30 that you would go, that would be my first pick. You wouldn't even think about any of those guys being your first pick.
No. Nobody watching this show, and we're going to get 1,000 people watch it. None of those 1,000 people would say, you got somebody at number 21 that should be number 1. Nobody, of course, you know that. They wouldn't even put him in the top 10, I don't think. I don't think we've really missed on anything. But this is the point where I invite people to make comments and let us know where you think we were off, why you think we're off. Don't just say where we're off or we're an idiot because. Tell us why you think, we got somebody wrong in the rankings. And we might have, sometimes people slip my memory, like I should have. I think Kevin Porter Jr. belongs in the honorable mention. But again, you know me, and you know how I am with my guys. He's one of
I don't disagree with that. I don't. Why would he not be there instead of
Michael Bridges?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but nonetheless, I think there's some scrutiny. I'm not talking about Kevin Porter. Sorry, moving on. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, you hate honorable mentions. We're out of honorable mentions. We'll eliminate that for the next one. Anyway, that's it, man. We're good. That's a wrap. That was a long video. We shot this in one shoot, right? In one long video. We're gonna break it up into 2 episodes so it's digestible for the people. Anything else? Any final thoughts or anything? What's our next topic gonna be, man?
Man, we've kind of discussed a few. I'm telling you, I love the idea of let's draft decades and see who comes up with a better team, and then let your viewers pick whose team is stronger at the end. Pick like 7 or 8 guys total, and go. One show is the 80s, or maybe you do one show where you do 80s and 90s, another show you do 2000s, 2010s, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that'll be fun. And then we have, there's a lot of stuff. We can definitely talk about, but good stuff, right, man. This is a lot of fun as always.
It's unlimited. We've got unlimited material. We can talk about it forever. None of this is scripted. I literally am just staring at the screen and we're going off the cuff because this is what we do. This is what we would do even if we didn't click record on this camera, right? This is exactly what we would do in between AAU games and travel and bus trips and all that. long car rides to Disney for Orlando for AAU Nationals. We would just talk for like 9 hours, and then we look up and we're like, shit, we're in Orlando. And you do all the driving. Thank God. Thank you for that, by the way. I hate driving interstate. And you ate up hours, man. I love it. Anyway, thanks for joining us as always. We're going to get you on again soon. And appreciate you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Peace. Cool, brother. That was easy. That was smooth, man. That was fun.
Good times, for sure.